We're back with great news. Eliot has found a job. He is now content manager at the company based in central London. Eliot found this opportunity through a university lecture. Let's hear it from him.
I now work for Move Guides. So like I said, they are a global mobility company which transfers talent. So what I do is I'm assistant content editor. So part of the job is obviously Move Guides creates physical guides on the internet. So if you're moving to say London, you'll get a guide on where to live, what to do, visas, taxes, etc. I help to write those. The brief said, they want expats. Obviously I'm an expat. They wanted people with degrees, people that want experience. And I was just sort of like, well, I fit this bill, I can go for it. I sent them an email and the CEO read it of the company, and she liked me because of the expat background.
Eliot graduated this July and found a job in September. Unfortunately, for some graduates it takes a lot longer to get employed, usually involving internships and volunteering to get experience.
They want people that already have some experience, so what I'm planning to do is to do like 6 months or a year of volunteering in maybe an NGO that then can be related to getting a job in that specific field.
So I'm working right now full-time inside university. So university would be actually the first place to look for. They can help you with part-time or full-time jobs, and go for exchange program, which I'm doing next year, going for Germany for Erasmus. Actually, I applied for Erasmus program scheme.
Many job seekers don't get feedback from the companies they apply to unsuccessfully. This can be infuriating. So what works and what doesn't work when it comes to the job hunt?
Well, sometimes what they say is just like, you're not the one we're looking for. You've done well, you're not the one in a sense where, like, I've done an interview for sales recruitment. I went there, I did, because it was a whole day, it's an assessment. So like I went for stages, because in every stages they were getting rid of people. So I did all the stages, stage 1 to the final stage, only to find out that, to be told that I was not the one they were looking for. So you don't know what it means. Sometimes they just don't want you and they don't have an explanation for it. So just say anything to you to get rid of you. And that's it. That's how I see it.
So even by the time I got the Move Guides email, I was kind of like, well, I'm not getting anything. I'm just going to have to stay away until I leave. And I just decided to go for it. So I think it's just having your ear to the ground and exploring all your options. And if someone says, we don't want you, that could mean there's someone better. It could mean that you're just not quite the right fit. They've already found someone, or they just never get back to you. There's so many different options, and it's not always just because, of you.
Stephen Cole, the University of Westminster career consultant, admits graduates seeking employment often lack confidence and creativity. Our employed graduates and current students give tips on how they got hired.
I think one of the major things they lack is a lack of confidence. They lack creativity in their job search. Quite a few students just sit behind a computer and send CVs out.
No, I work for an independent company, but I actually did some research work for them during my degree in my summer holidays. So it was actually a work experience that I built up, and then they offered me a job when I graduated.
The other point that I would like to make is that don't rely on paper-based applications solely. Make sure you combine that with a networking approach, as I mentioned earlier on. Go to events, talk to employers, make sure they know who you are. Make applications for open days if they have those, and start building up your own network of contacts. And the more of that you do, the more insight you'll have into the application process, and the more insight you have, the better your chances will be in securing opportunities.
Yeah, I'm on my second year right now, and I managed to get an internship over in Swindon for the following year until next year.
I would definitely say work experience is key. Even if you haven't got it during your degree, you can do unpaid work experience afterwards, and that's really, really valuable. And I'd definitely say make your CV interesting, not cliche statements like I work well in a group and independently. People get bored of them.
Mainly in the industry developing technology, hardware technology, working with chips and integrated circuits. That's the main thing that I kind of want to do, and I think most of us want to do that. There are some of us that want to go into business and marketing and things like finance, straight from an engineering degree, because some employers are actually looking for people who can think like that, who can think it with mathematics and everything else, even though it's got to do with electronic engineering.
You know, make sure you take pride in the work that you produce. Employers won't necessarily have met you beforehand. So the work that you produce, your CVs, your application forms, will be the first time they actually see or know of you. So the document needs to embody who you are. And if the document embodies who you are in a positive way, the more likely it is that you will be invited for an interview.
I mean, obviously still live in Harrow, so Farringdon is a bit of a trek, but it's on the one line, so it makes it really easy. There's plenty of things to do around here. I haven't explored the area too much just because during the month I was working 80 hours, and then now I'm just sort of settling back into it, getting used to waking up at 7 a.m, which is very different to sort of getting up at 10 a.m. or even later. And the job, yeah, it's good. I mean, you've got to also get used to, I used to work talking to people every day, smiling, late hours. Now it's 9 to 5, I sit at a desk. It's good, I do enjoy it, but you do still have to get used to it, even though you're like, oh, this is where I want to be. You're like, I'm at a desk. I'm at a desk in an office. It's very different to what I used to be, so just got to get used to it.